Hey, Kate.
What?
What did the blanket say when it fell off the bed?
What did it say?
He said, "Oh, sheet."
So tough. Welcome to Really Inappropriate Parents with Kate and Chance,
Hi, I'm Chance.
where absolutely nothing is off limits and everything has the potential to be inappropriate. Welcome to episode 1 of RIP.
Welcome, indeed.
Really Inappropriate Parents. If the title doesn't give it away, that is essentially who we are.
Little dark humor sprinkled right at the beginning.
That's right. We had a lot of people request for us to do a podcast. When I say a lot, I mean maybe 6 people asked for us to do a podcast. And those 6 people, thank you. We're here because of you.
We are full-time podcasters right now, as of this moment.
That is sadly true.
That's very scary to even...
Sadly true. So what are you going to get from us? What are you going to expect?
What to expect when expecting. Is that a title? If it's not,
yes,
it should be.
Chance, that's the book you bought me.
I just
for
came
when
up
I was
with that.
Pregnant. No, you
just
didn't.
came up with that.
No, you didn't. Okay. So what to expect with this podcast?
When expecting.
When expecting to listen to our podcast. We are going to give you comedic relief in a stressful life that we're all living right now. Everyone has stresses. We are going to give you insight into who we are as individuals, who we are as a couple, what our relationship is like, past relationships.
The best parenting styles out there. It's definitely not our style, but it's out there.
It's out there.
You're gonna hear ours for
you
sure.
Might not, you're not going to hear it on our podcast, but you'll hear it elsewhere. We'll have parenting tips and guidelines.
How about do's and don'ts, but mostly don'ts?
That's a good way of putting it. Good. That was a wonderful, Chance.
The quips in my head right now are just
insane. Here we go. So that is what to expect from us and this podcast. If you don't know who we are already, we are Really Inappropriate Parents.
That's such a great title, by the way, because it kind of describes our humor. And not to downplay.
It's so dark.
Yeah, not to downplay what we've been through, and we'll kind of get into all that if you're new. But the Really Inappropriate Parents acronym,
some shit
is
tragic.
Yeah. So we wanted to put our dark humor into,
and that's what you'll be getting,
this podcast, because that's truly who we are.
Oh yeah.
Like, we make jokes all the time. It definitely helps us cope a little bit. It's kind of who we were before we even met. So. Yeah. We kind of want to give a little bit of that into this.
This podcast is going to show all of our followers who follow us now that there is a lot about us that you don't know. And there will be stories that you will find out that you...
Maybe even one later in the episode? Do you think
I could probably come up with a story.
I would enjoy hearing it. Let's see what you can come up with. I'm
okay.
sure you're already thinking about...
I don't know. Hopefully it just comes authentically, naturally.
We'll see, yeah. Let's just play into it, and if something pops
come,
out,
right? It will.
Just love that it'll come.
Yes, it's great when it comes.
You have to come.
Well, you don't have to come, but it is more enjoyable when you do come.
Yeah, because who doesn't like coming
to the podcast
to listen to our podcast?
Exactly.
Let's introduce ourselves, because I feel like not everyone's gonna know who we are.
Right. So if you don't already follow us on our social media accounts, my name is Kate Hudson, not the really famous actress who has millions of dollars. That's not me. I am a mother and a pharmacist and not a wife, fiance. Fiance. Oui.
A very good one. You're so good at being a fiance.
Yeah, we'll probably be engaged for the rest of our life. That's fine though. Go ahead, Chance. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Again, my name is Chance, like Kate just said. I am I guess still a nurse, pediatric nurse. Other than that, I am a very sarcastic person, if you haven't seen on our videos. So you're going to get a lot of sarcasm, which might confuse you at first, but hopefully we'll get the hang of it.
What's your TikTok name?
go by Hey Eliza is my TikTok account. And it was mostly around kind of the name there, around our daughter Eliza, who, if you followed us, you kind of know our story, our journey up until this point. If you haven't followed us, Eliza was our amazing little inspirational warrior. She
is our daughter. She'll always be our daughter. Due to the tragedies of life that happens to everybody, this is a tragedy that most parents have nightmares about. We lived through it. Eliza is no longer with us physically, and we'll talk about Eliza in some episodes. Sometimes we won't,
because we have some fantastic, unheard, beautiful memories.
Hilarious.
A little concerning for a parent at times, just because that's who Eliza was. She would say some of the things that would just pop in her head, and you're like, did I teach her that, or did Kate? And it would really make you wonder about your parenting style. You're like, this is who I am.
Yeah,
I love it.
She was definitely our daughter. She got it from both of us.
Yeah. So there's definitely going to be some emotional times on here. We're trying to stay a little upbeat on this first one, because we don't want to get...
We just want to make it casual.
We don't want to start crying for an hour, which honestly, that might be a good episode. Just us crying.
Oh, yeah.
It's like an entire
it might
hour.
Be like ASMR. We could do an ASMR of us crying.
It'd be an interesting one.
Not a good one. We both look terrible crying. Did you know you're an ugly crier?
Yeah.
Did you know that? Okay,
I did.
Me too.
So let's get into what we want to
give you guys. And we hope to just give you insight into who we are as people, because even if you do follow us on social media, there are parts of us that you don't see, just snippets. So this podcast is kind of take that relationship that we have to a level where you guys can kind of join in. Not like throuple join in, but you know what I mean. Do you think they know what I mean?
I guess we'll find out.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about first? The biggest questions were, how are you?
Yeah.
That was the biggest question.
It's still day to day.
We're surviving.
Yeah, surviving is probably the best way to put it. If you see us posting on like TikTok or Instagram, usually those are moments where we're like feeling not as heavy as a weight as we previously were, but then the next day could be completely different.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of just
talking about... It's a roller coaster,
yeah.
like our relationship.
Yeah.
Oh. But I did see you did the dishes, so I'm very happy.
So when she
about
says
that.
Did the dishes, I know you guys are going to have a hard time believing this fact, but I need Kate to back me up here.
Okay.
I do 99% of the dishes in this house.
98%. Okay? Not 99. You were close.
When I say Kate does not like to do the dishes, that is a understatement.
It's a fact.
So I do a lot of the dishes.
We get it. You're an amazing man. You're so hot.
I was just trying to inch you to that answer.
You cook, you clean. Okay, we get it. Now everyone's going to be DMing you, trying to steal you away from me.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a better offer out there, Kate's pretty good right now, but...
Pretty good.
I can be bought.
What? Well, I don't have money to buy you. So anyways, let's talk about our first date. Well,
let's just talk about like how we met. Maybe
how did we meet? Yeah,
it's definitely like a new age. Like social media has changed drastically since we were kids. And when I say since we were kids, that makes me feel so old.
Okay, you feel old. I'm 4 years older than you, so let's just. You were born in the 90s. I was born in the 80s. Okay, People are like, oh, the 80s. Holy crap! I'm like a grandma to them.
Just saying that, isn't that insane to even think about?
I don't know, because the 80s...
In the 80s, that seems
what a great decade.
It was.
You don't know. You were born in the 90s, okay? You don't know.
I grew up on like 80s kind of...
No, you didn't.
My parents are stuck in the 80s with my...
That's true.
Yeah. But, yeah, let's talk about kind of how we met. Why don't you start us off about this beautiful Twilight love story?
Why do you always bring up Twilight? You don't even like the movie. Anyway,
it's a running joke.
Is it? So we met on the dating app Bumble, which we are not sponsored by, but should be, because we have a wonderful love story that grew from it. And if you're not familiar with Bumble, the woman has to message the man first. So I messaged.
It's such an interesting concept. It really is.
It's not.
Because men are just going to message anything that has a pulse on that.
Okay.
Women are going to be like, I need to like
I didn't think
actually
about
look
it.
at this guy. There was a time limit on it though, wasn't there? Like within 24
I guess
hours.
there is. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was quick.
Yeah. Just like you. So anyways, I messaged him, does your dog have a DNR? And DNR stands for do not resuscitate. And I messaged him because he had a picture of him and his cute little mini Australian Shepherd.
And her jokes have not gotten any less corny.
Okay, well, my friend helped me with that line. So really, she's the reason we're together.
Oh,
She
wow.
helped me with that. Yeah.
So should I be
So
with...
shout out to Adrian. Love you. And he responded back. And I said that because he's a nurse. So he knew what DNR stood for. And he responded back with a witty comment that was just said, you know what? I don't know. I'll look into it. And I was sending that line to multiple guys.
The DNR line?
Yeah, you didn't know that. And I had so many guys message back and be like, that's really messed up, or like, what does DNR mean? But Chance's response was like, I don't know. Let me go check. Like, it was just...
Yeah, it's just part of that sarcastic humor coming in. Very just...
It was important.
Yeah, dark humor on my side,
And
even
mine.
throughout our entire relationship. The good, the bad.
Yeah.
Even when Kate's in a mood and she's giving me this devil look in her eyes, sometimes I'll try to poke the bear and see how far I can take a joke. And then there's times where, you just know instantly the joke's a bad idea when you're looking at me.
Facts.
So many of those to come.
We don't fight. We disagree. All right. So after we talked on Bumble,
Let's get back to one thing first.
Let's not.
You're skipping over one big aspect of this story.
Let's not.
Which I feel like not necessarily important, but it definitely adds a little bit of humor.
Little
spice to the story, because you need a
saffron.
little, you need a little bit of that. Who did you match with before yours truly?
I matched with Chance's older brother, Tristan, who was at the time my Orange Theory coach. And eventually I figured it out through the photos on both of their profiles that they had a mutual friend, and then it clicked. Oh shit, they have the same last name. I think they're brothers. So I ended up messaging Tristan and saying, hey, I'm going to go forward with your brother Chance. And Tristan was super cool about it. He was like, oh, of course. He's like, he's such a great guy. He's like, I think you guys will get along great. And he wasn't wrong. Look at us now. So why don't you explain the date you took me on?
It was just natural. Almost, it was like I hate saying it's like such a corny line. Like, it's like we've known each other all our lives. But it really, like, it was just like our personalities just like kind of played really nicely with each other. It's like peanut butter and jelly with the crust cut off. It's just a good sandwich, you know?
Oh my
a
gosh.
good fit. You just have to have fun with it. Do random stuff, and that's kind of what we did. Our first date, we did so much. And by so much, it lasted
over 24 hours.
24 hours. If you guys can put 2 and 2 together, there is 24 hours in a day, and some of those hours are through the night. If you guys catch my drift.
Okay, I slept with you on the first date. We get it. And I hooked you with my clam. Snapped you up.
I'm giving myself some knuckles here for that.
All right, you took me to Condado's, a nice taco place in Columbus, Ohio. We got some tacos, some margaritas, and then we had such good conversation that we took a stroll down into the short north, which is in Columbus, Ohio. And we went to a vintage toy store, and then we went into a really cool candy store. And Chance had a genius idea. If you are vibing with your date, do something unique. So what he did is we're in the candy store, and he said, all right, let's pick out a candy for each other that represents our first impression of one another. And I remember that Chance picked out gum for me and said something like, it's shiny and pretty on the outside, like the foil, And then the inside is just as sweet.
It was just such a perfect line.
It was. It got me. But you, of course, don't remember what I got you. So that's...
We don't. More to explain on the gum. I feel like you always leave this detail out. Just because it's such amazing gum. And even thinking about it, like, I want to go get a pack. Have you guys ever heard of the Zebra Stripes gum? This was like an 80s thing. It had to be. 80s or 90s gum.
Okay.
So we definitely grew up on it. And it was this flavor pack gum where you'd put it in your mouth and you would just be in heaven with the flavors for 15 seconds. And then it's like the flavor just disappears. Because it's like they coated it with... Man, you're playing down this gum. I'm sure people have heard of it, and anybody over the age of 30 definitely knows this gum.
Okay, that's true.
So the new kids, if they haven't tried it, it's trying something new, you know? Mm-hmm. So trying something new is going to be the theme of this first episode? No?
No, that is not the theme.
Yeah, we'll find something better.
All right, so then we went back to your place.
Again, you're missing like the juiciest parts of the story.
Okay.
And this is
probably part of my normal life.
This is what led into the night.
Okay.
So we stopped at one more store.
Yeah, I took him
before we went home.
I took him to a sex shop called The Garden, and he had never been. And I said, "Oh, you've been here before, right?" And he was like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, let's go learn some things." And we went down in the basement where there's all the toys, the adult toys.
Adult toys. I was going to say, what kind of toys?
Yeah, adult toys. And Chance would pick out a toy, and I would be like, "No, I already have that. I already have that. I already have that. Nope, don't like that one." And I think I was just almost, I don't know, were you intimidated by it, or were you like turned
100%.
on?
I would say 50-50 between turned on and intimidated, because you were older, and being in that store on the first date and you telling me all these different random toys that you either owned or like you didn't like, it's like you knew about those, and I was like,
I don't know about everything, but I know about some.
This girl knows what she wants. Mm-hmm. It's obviously me. Definitely going to see where this goes.
That was
after
definitely
this.
A test, though, too, to see if you were more experienced than me. And that was my first inkling and hint that I was more experienced than you were. And
what if I was playing it cool, though?
What?
Because a lot of it is just like playing it cool. Like, oh, I don't know what that thing is, what that does. Where does that go?
All right. Lies. So then we went back to, I think I bought like a little schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what sold it for me.
Yeah.
Like, the second she bought that, I was like, all right, this girl's an absolute freak. Every guy thinks that. If you buy something like that.
Chance still has yet to put it on for me, but maybe we'll get to that.
I've worn it a couple times, but maybe one day you'll put it on.
All right, we get it. So go to his house and ended up meeting his roommates. Got along great with them, so it was just a natural fit. And then played some euchre. His brother and I, Tristan, crushed him and his friend Corey at euchre. I think Chance like blacked that memory out because he hates losing so much.
It didn't happen, but we
beat you, crushed you. Then we had sex, and it was great sex.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into the details of that.
We will?
Right now. Or another date, perhaps.
Wait,
Episode 2?
Hold on, do you even remember the details?
I remember doing it. Like the details of it.
Exactly.
That was what? How many years ago? It's been
so
5 years now.
5 years.
It's crazy to think about. It's been 5 years.
But you lasted way longer than I expected.
Oh, wow.
That was impressive to me.
You heard it here first. So first dates, kind of got, not off topic. We just wanted to kind of talk about kind of how we met, our first date.
And this is just giving you an idea of what this podcast is going to be like. It's going to be raunchy, saucy. It's going to be funny at times. It might be serious. Chance and I apparently are going to be learning about each other through this podcast.
There honestly might be some stories that we're like,
we're going to
start telling, totally, and then it's like, have I even told Kate that story?
I know.
So it's going to be interesting because some of the stories you hear might be us hearing it
so
together for the
many
first
stories
time.
There's a story Chance told me that he thought he had told me before, and I did not know that story, and I was totally intrigued by it. If you guys want to hear about past relationships and past stories, past hookups, past whatever, just let us know. Or if you'd rather just have us talk about our current situation and where we're going now in the future and what we'll be doing going
because
forward.
a lot of our future, hopefully there might be future. No,
Are you trying to like pawn my engagement ring off right now?
I would. You like never wear
I
that
know
thing.
you would pawn it and buy like Bitcoin or something. I know you would do that.
And just getting past that, I feel like a lot of people always have this question, like, are you guys still engaged? Like, when's
People
the
think
wedding?
we're married.
When's this?
People are like, if my marriage isn't like yours, I don't want it. I'm like, wait, I had to like say to people like,
I
we're
know.
not married, but
It's not like we're like against a marriage, because I mean, she's got a pretty nice little ring on her finger that I got her. So the plan was
to get married.
And we were. Well, we'll talk about the whole story
And then life
like how it
punched
happened.
us in the genitals.
Yeah, it really did. But we're actually gonna have a, what do you call it?
Destination wedding.
Destination wedding in Mexico. We wanted it to be like a vacation type of wedding.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the works. Kate was planning the whole
For
thing.
May 2020, yeah.
Very stressed out doing that with her full-time job and everything going on.
And we ended up canceling it. I think a lot of people thought we canceled it because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be May 2020, but we canceled it before the media was even talking about COVID. I think we canceled it in November.
It was because
like October or November of 2019
Eliza,
because of Eliza's cancer diagnosis, and she was diagnosed in June of 2019. And we had asked her oncologist. We said, "Hey, we have a wedding that's coming up in May," and all her oncologists were like, "No, keep the wedding. She'll be done with chemo in December. Just keep it." We didn't want to take her out of the country.
We didn't want her to be sick.
Yeah.
During that time,
and she was
and
already
then risk going to a different country.
And I'm not the girl who was planning her wedding at age, 10 or whatever. Yeah. I never wanted a big wedding. Never wanted to buy a wedding dress. Really even didn't care about rings. I mean, sometimes I was like, if you put a rubber band on my finger, that just shows me.
That would have been so nice to know.
I told you that.
You did not.
I did. But then
you gave me the exact cut you wanted and everything. So I don't want to hear that.
Well, then I started looking at the rings you were looking at. I was like, wait, that is kind of nice. I would like that. So, but I never wanted a wedding.
You should post a picture of the ring.
Of the ring? I could do that.
It's the only photo that's ever going to be seen of it. She doesn't wear it ever.
I wore it for the photo shoots because people have said, I love your ring.
I give her so much shit about it.
It's a really pretty ring. It's rose gold band and a princess cut. Gorgeous, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Like a carrot? Is it like a carrot?
I think 50 carats.
Oh my gosh, you're ridiculous. I used the marriage fund that my mom saved for me. My mom is the most amazing woman I've ever met. And I remember looking for a house to buy, and I called my mom and said, "Hey mom, I need the wedding fund you set aside for me." And my mom was like, "Oh, what? Like, why?" I think at first she thought like I don't know what she thought. I know she didn't know I was looking for houses.
You said you could either use it for that or like your first down payment on a house.
No,
Isn't that
my
the
mom
reason
said
they made it?
Nope. She saved the same amount of money for my sister and I. My sister is already married. She used the fund for part of her wedding, and then I took the fund that my mom saved for me and used it towards a down payment on the house that we're living in now. So that just shows you that like having a big wedding to me was never important. If I were to get married, we'd go to a courthouse and have a fun party afterwards.
Yeah. I think I'm in the same boat. I didn't want some massive event that's kind of all about us. I've never had that like need. Like a big...
I don't believe you. You like wanted to get married. You just wanted to see me walk down the aisle, which is so sweet.
Cute.
That's what actually got me thinking maybe I do want to have a wedding.
That was the reason?
That was the reason.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really sweet. I've never heard of a guy being like, "No, I want to see you like walk down the aisle." Yeah, I've had guys propose to me before. Future episodes, we're definitely going to talk about our past.
Did he have a ring?
He bought a ring, and I told him, "Do not propose to me. Like, do not."
Just kept it. Then because
just
used that ring.
It was one of several abusive relationships, and I was just like, "Don't buy a ring. Like, don't." So we'll definitely talk about our past on here because that's what.
Yeah, Kate's been through some shit.
Yeah.
To put it lightly.
Yeah.
But for future guidance on our episodes, we definitely want to hear what you guys would like us to talk about. We want to hear anything. Maybe even like questions you guys have on relationships or parenting or just life itself or how we're doing, how we're feeling that day. Any questions you guys have, we want to hear them. And it's going to kind of guide our future episodes. Not necessarily we're going to talk about everything you guys are sending to us, but we honestly might.
So if this really becomes a safe space where Chance and I feel comfortable enough, we will talk about anything. I mean, in the intro, you heard me say absolutely nothing is off limits. And maybe I should put a little asterisk next to that, just because nothing is off limits. It's just the timing in which we talk about things. For instance, a lot of people ask, are you going to have another child? And that is something we've discussed. And at this time, we're not going to talk about it in the podcast, but we could in future episodes. So that is just an example. So you guys can send us questions that you're really wanting to hear about, and we will not dismiss them. It just may not be on the next episode or even the next 20 episodes.
Do you think there's going to be 20?
Oh, yeah. We'll have at least 20.
If you guys haven't noticed, Kate can talk. She will ramble on about everything, which is a good thing in a podcast. And now she's looking at me. If you guys could see the face she has on right now, it's so beautiful. You're so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to try again on the question I asked you yesterday? If my vagina was a car, what would it be and why? And just a background into this question, I asked Chance this yesterday with no hint at what we were doing, because we are not the couple that stages things or scripts things. It's very authentic. And he called my vagina a diesel truck because it's not really good on anything, but it gets the job done.
Do I stand by that comment?
Do you? Think carefully.
Maybe.
No, you have a second chance. I'm giving you a second chance here to maybe give a different answer. So once again, if my vagina were a car, what would it be and why?
All right, so we're definitely going to pick something different here.
He also was not expecting this question.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that Kate came downstairs on my alone time, and that sounds really weird when you say it out loud, like I was having some session with myself. I was downstairs playing Call of Duty.
Don't try to get away from this question like you think I'm going to forget.
Okay.
Go ahead.
How is your vagina like a car?
No. What is my
I feel like you're not going to like this answer at first.
In an automobile.
But let me just get through the whole explanation of it.
Are you trying to do this?
Let me get through the whole explanation of it, and then you can give your 2 cents, which I know you will. Okay? You ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I think your vagina is most comparable to an adorable little Prius. And here's why. Because it's so cute and tight. That's really good. It's so cute and tight, and it gets such amazing gas mileage, and you're so happy with it.
Why couldn't you have said that yesterday? That was bravo. That was wonderful. That was a great response. Great mileage. How many miles does my Prius have?
Probably like 40. You got like 40 in there.
40?
Yeah, like 40.
All right, Chance. So now that my vagina is a beautiful, compact, energy-efficient car. Tight.
Prius.
Energy-efficient Prius. Beautiful automobile. Good for the environment. Just Mother Nature's gift
to the
world.
Future.
It's the future.
It really is.
That's right. So now that we know that is my vagina, what would you say about vaginas and first dates? Having sex on the first date.
Yeah, the first date. One night stands, and because one night stands could potentially turn into
our relationship.
A long-lasting relationship.
Correct.
A lot of people have had one night stands.
Yeah.
And just my take on them is it's not, I just feel like it's a connection between you and the person if you have it on the first date.
If I remember someone's name after a one night stand, gold star for me.
That's
That's how I lived my life in my late 20s. I just didn't give a fuck. It was more like, you know what? I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I am totally fine with
Have you ever forgot
sex.
someone's name? Like,
oh yeah,
the morning after?
oh yeah. I've had one night stands where to this day I never got their name.
Great work.
Did you not know that?
I didn't. That's kind of funny though. I mean,
think about it. Like, no, like I never
like
even
never
got their
even
name.
like you never even got to the point where like
Didn't
you guys
even
knew
ask.
each other's names. It was just
exactly like didn't ask names.
That's like a dream for most guys. Are like, all right.
Oh, I'm sure it was for him. So what I'm talking about is the one night stand I had on a tour bus.
Like how old were you?
I was in college, so I was.
So you were cheating on me in college before you knew me?
Yeah, I was, and
unbelievable.
So I remember being on the tour bus, and I was an undergrad, so I think I was a junior.
When you hear tour bus, I'm thinking it's NSYNC or
No!
the Backstreet Boys
the
tour
hell?
bus.
I'm not that old. Okay, so anyways, when I was in college, I was on the concerts committee. I'm not going to say which college yet, just in case. So I was on the concerts committee. So we brought in the artists and we would bring them what they wanted for, their rooms before they went on stage.
They call those groupies, don't they? Isn't that like the term?
I wasn't a groupie. That's what makes it kind of weird is because I was working. Well, I mean, we weren't paid for it. It was like a group I was involved in. Concerts committee.
You're saying everything about what it is. That like what it?
No, a groupie is someone who goes to the concert and then sleeps
follows
with them.
the band.
Yeah, I was not doing that. This was just
You went to the concert.
Okay.
You were on the tour bus.
No,
you didn't get paid.
I was not. No,
you were in a group.
I was working the concert. Okay, so I was helping. Everything was set up from like early on in the day until they finally were on stage, and I remember getting super drunk after the concert, and the guys from the band were like, hey, do you want to go out with us? And me and someone else, we went out with the band. We went to Ugly Tuna, which I don't even know if that doesn't tell you. Okay, it was Ohio State. So I don't think Ugly Tuna is still there. But we went there and then had a few drinks and went back to the tour bus. My friend ended up leaving.
Do you remember the tour bus?
Oh, yeah.
Like how it looked? Everything?
Oh, yeah.
Was it big?
No, it was. It's not like a band.
It's like a little school bus?
It's not. It was like kind of reminded me of like an RV.
Okay.
Yeah. So, bigger than an RV. It was still a tour bus because it had all their equipment in it. And I remember having sex with someone on the tour bus. Never got the name. And you have to think every other guy who was in the band was also in the tour bus while this was happening. So they were all watching this happening. You know what? I was in a cuckolding experience.
Oh, wow.
I just realized that.
That was your first sex opportunity.
No. Oh, okay. Let's not get too into it. But that just popped in my head that they were watching. Next day, everyone is so nice. Everyone's like talking. They're like, "Hey, do you want breakfast or anything?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." Couldn't find my jeans though. Gone. Jeans gone. And
they became a souvenir. You know that, right? That was probably like their flag.
No. Let me finish. So then the lead singer, so nice. He's like, "Don't worry. Like, here's a pair of my like shorts. You can just like put these on." And then they drove me to the residence I was staying at. So it's, I don't know, early in the morning, 8 a.m. or something. Tour bus is driving on the back streets of the housing area of OSU.
Just to get you the hell off of it?
No, they were so nice. They're like, I offered to walk. And they're like, no, we'll drive you there. Drop me off. And I'm like, hey, and they got my phone number. And I said, hey, if you find my jeans, just text me. Because when you're in college, like, shit's expensive, right? You have a good pair of jeans. You don't lose that. And so 2 hours later, I get a text. And I'm like, hey, we found your jeans. We're going to leave them at the hotel that we're staying at. So I remember going to the hotel later that day. And I'm looking at is it like a concierge at the front desk? I was like, did someone happen to leave a pair of jeans here for me. And the look she gave me was pure judgment.
Do you think it was jealousy though? Like
No,
she saw
it
these
was
band guys
judgment.
walk in and
It was judgment for sure. And she handed me the pair of jeans. They were nicely folded. There was a note that said, "Have a great rest of your day. You know, maybe talk later." And that was it. Most ironic part,
no more text or anything.
I did get a text. It was maybe 3 years later. They were coming back to Columbus. And they texted and said, "Hey, are you still in Columbus?"
Man.
And I was like, damn, I must have a really good Prius pussy for that to happen. That they're texting me back 3 years later being like, "Are you still in Columbus?"
Yeah, they probably have you saved as like Columbus groupie.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Or like call her in Columbus.
Yeah. When in Columbus, call this person. Because I don't think they knew my name either.
Definitely you were for sure going to be another booty call that night.
Oh, for sure. I knew.
100%.
I said I'm not at.
Is this band still like doing concerts? Are they
I
still
don't
on
know.
tour? Like,
I have no idea. They're not that big of a band. Like, I'm not going to say who they are, but.
maybe disclose that information later. That'd be kind of funny. But people would like put
No,
things
I
together. It might be.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I mostly don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you.
Oh, some of these stories, Kate and I have told each other a lot of our younger, immature stories. So like to get mad at something that's happened before, like
it's not even.
that, it's
we've never
just
been mad.
insane to me.
It's more.
We
honestly,
like hearing these stories because
we
like
do.
it's like something new and interesting.
Hilarious
Like,
for me to hear stories like of Chance and like what he's done in the past because I'm so like, oh my gosh, that's so not what I would have expected from you because Chance is such like an amazing man and we all have slip ups. Like that night for me was a slip up. I don't regret it because it's a great story.
and it's so funny. Your take is true.
Yeah.
I love being in a relationship. I love what we have, what we've built together, and I absolutely loved being a father. That was one of my things I loved. But if you would
I knew the butt was coming.
But if you would ask my friend group in college what I was really like, they would give you the exact opposite of what I am now. I was still so sarcastic, funny.
Like I can't believe still that you chose me because you are 10 out of 10 on the hot scale. You're smart. You're so witty. You're so sarcastic. You're so funny. And you are the best dad.
I love the Prius.
Chance.
There we go. Why don't we end it on that story? There's going to be many more to come. I said come last.
Oh, take your last shot, everybody. Take your last sip.
So definitely going to be a lot more of these stories. Hopefully,
are there?
Yeah. I'm sure people want to know some of the juicy stories on my end. And maybe I have a fun little tour bus story.
No, you don't.
We will see. So if you guys honestly have any questions or anything you want us to talk about, please, I guess, DM Kate.
Send a
or
DM.
I.
Mm-hmm. So just DM me on Instagram, Kate Hudson.
Yeah, we'll put like links to everything just to make it easier. I think you can do that. I don't know how, but I'm gonna look into it.
Millennials.
And just saying, looking into it. If you guys haven't.
All right. So if we can't do the link, so my Instagram is Kate Hudson.
We're gonna do it. We'll just put it in the comments.
007. You're annoying me right now. Okay. Edit this out. I'm gonna snap your dick off right now. All right. So send us a direct message, DM on Instagram. Mine is Kate Hudson 007.
Slide into her DMs.
Oh my God. And Chance's, I know you don't know yours, so I looked it up before this podcast, is Mo, M as in Mary, O as in orgasm, _ Chance _ So you can message.
Underscore after?
Yeah, you don't even know that. I know, I looked it up. I know, I looked it up. So that's where you can send your questions. That might be the next episode.
That'll kind of guide us.
Like, we'll do like back and forth. So the next episode will be answering your guys' questions, and then the following episode will be another one where we just come up.
We'll
with
call
their
them
own
future therapy sessions. So therapy.
Oh yeah,
session
this is really
2.
therapeutic.
Thank you guys for listening. You guys are such great listeners as therapists out there. So
yeah, you guys never interrupted us once.
Not one
So
time.
nice.
Must be nice.
We love you guys. Shut up.
But we will see you guys next time. Frog you cancer?
Frog you cancer. You got it.